One thing that's really been bothering me is that you have so many people that are just making this about Candace Owens. I really wish that people would just learn to take Candace out of the equation. Like, just like pretend she doesn't exist. Like, imagine. Like, imagine a timeline where Erika Kirk really did call Candace day one and be like, Candace, I know you and Charlie were so close and that you're a very good investigative journalist, but I would really, really appreciate if, for me and for my children, Candace, for Charlie's children, if you just don't make any episodes about it, because the more you talk about it on your show, then the more it's going to be in the headlines and the more that attention's going to come to me, and I just want to mourn. I just want to grieve. I don't want the attention. I don't want the media circus, you know? I mean, I know that's kind of a stretch considering she had a whole camera crew in the funeral parlor while she's like sobbing over Charlie's dead body, which is like, who does that? But whatever. I'm not going to judge. We all grieve in our own ways. My little brother passed away, and that was a very, very difficult time for me and for my family. And, you know, for months, none of us wanted to do stuff. Like, I didn't even want to work. I had to take some time off. It was like a real, you know, like, you got to process it. You got to mourn. You got to spend time with your loved ones. You know, like, you got to stay close to your family. Like, there's a lot of stages of grief. There is. There's a lot of stages of grief, and it's a lot. And, like, I think that was one of the things that stuck out in my mind with Erica early on. It's like, it's not even the fake tears, you know, like whatever. Like, I wasn't trying to judge. Like, I wasn't trying to nitpick. You know what I mean? Like there are people that are like, look, especially some people that go down the rabbit holes with conspiracy theories that think like everything's a conspiracy. You know, like, a lot of times you do, especially when people die, like, you gotta like back off a little bit, at least with some people. Like, everybody, when you're an investigator, like, if you're a detective or something, it's different. Unfortunately, you got to take feelings out of it, because whenever somebody dies, you really do look at the spouse and the family and the friends. You look at the inner circle first. But, like, if you're just on the outside, you're somebody like you or me and, you know, talking online, it really is really ugly to, you know, just make accusations and try to find dirt on the person, like, right after someone that they love that's close to them dies. So I had heard a lot of stuff about Erica when Charlie first died. I had never heard a word about her before he died, but I mean, I wasn't really a fan of him, so there was no reason to. But I tried to stay away from it. And then when I saw her at the memorial and coming out to the fireworks and the whole I forgive that man, I'm not going to lie, it seemed like an act. It seemed very disingenuous, but I mean, I thought maybe it just didn't hit her yet. You know, like maybe it, you know, because sometimes when people die, it doesn't hit you right away. Like you'll go through the wake, you'll go through the funeral, like, and then all of a sudden, like a week or two later, you're just like, damn. So I was thinking maybe it didn't hit her yet. But then all of a sudden you see her on the podcast and you see her doing interviews, and now she's the CEO, and now they're doing all these things, and now, oh, they're releasing a book and she's going on tour. And I'm just like, okay, like these are a lot of red flags. But still, it's like, I don't know what it's like to be her. Like, I don't know what it's like to have that responsibility that her husband had built this giant organization, and she wanted to make sure that that the mission statement and that what they did and the direction of the company stayed with what Charlie wanted and his beliefs. Like, that would make sense. That would make sense. So that's what I wanted to believe, and I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt. But then when you see all these anomalies with the McCoys, with the security, you know, like the text messages with the donors, and she's not speaking out about any of it for months. And then all of a sudden you're finding out that Turning Point has reporters that are asking questions, like kind of implying that they're favoring a pro-US Iran war, that Charlie Kirk was dead set against, and like apparently went to the White House to speak to Trump about personally, to say like, we can't do this. This isn't in the best interest of America. Like, what are you doing? You know, to see Turning Point all of a sudden like being pro that war, a war that a certain foreign nation has also really been trying to push on us for over 30 years. That same foreign nation that all these different conspiracy theories are kind of circling around, especially with the connections that Erica's father allegedly has. It's just really weird. And, you know, like I say, when I talk about, you know, math and probabilities and like turning everything into a math equation, everything is a factor. Everything that everybody does, it all adds into the equation. And, you know, I mean, what do you want me to say? You know, what does Candace say? We don't know, but we know. I think I know. It might be a no saying it, but I think I might know, you know, like. That reporter from Turning Point USA could have asked any question they wanted. Not only did they ask the question about, you know, potential conflict with the U.S. and Iran, but you would think, especially if it was a reporter from Turning Point USA Faith, I got to double check that. I don't know if it was Turning Point USA Faith or just Turning Point. I don't even really understand the difference. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you could tell me in the comments or I'll look into it myself. I do believe that Rob McCoy started Turning Point USA Faith with Charlie, though, and that the whole mission for Turning Point USA Faith was to get churches more involved in politics, which I find extremely odd because, you know, separation of church and state, I thought that was a thing. But when you think about that, when you think about Rob McCoy going to Charlie and starting Turning Point USA Faith to get churches more involved with politics, and then you find out that a specific foreign nation, the same specific foreign nation that we've been talking about, targeted over 500 Christian churches. Or actually, I should reiterate. It's not that they targeted 500 Christian churches. They targeted the people that go to the 500 plus Christian churches so that they could blast their phones with propaganda promoting the interests of their nation. And our government let them do it. Is that not crazy? Is that not crazy? And is that something that Charlie would have wanted? Is that something that Charlie agreed with before he died? Is that something that Charlie Kirk advocated? Because, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Charlie say that the one thing he wanted to be known for above anything else was his faith in Jesus Christ, his Christian faith? He said that, right? Didn't he say that? It's not just me. What would Charlie Kirk say if he knew that a foreign nation that's a theocratic state for another religion was targeting over the people that go to over 500 Christian churches to spam them with propaganda? Because I don't think he would have been for it at all, especially since it's the same foreign nation whose cause he said that he was going to be forced to leave 48 hours before he died. Gonna have to factor that one into my model and see what probabilities that affects. We don't know, but we know. It's just crazy to me. And it's even more crazy to me that all these people on the right, all these other influencers, I'm not gonna say names right now. You know, I'm trying to make this like a chill episode, you know, like I'll save that, you know, for another episode. We'll definitely get into that. But all these influencers that are more concerned with the midterms, like that's what you hear. Like, what are you doing? You're tearing the party in half. We're gonna lose the midterms because of Candace Owens. It's like, yo, who cares about the politics? Who cares about the politics? It's about right and wrong. A man was killed. A man was killed. The FBI is telling us a story. There are all these different anomalies, all this evidence, compounding irrefutable evidence that is contradicting the FBI narrative that they're pushing us. Not only is the FBI pushing us, but his wife is pushing us. His wife, who's now the CEO of a company that's made over $140 million in the past 3 months alone since he died. And God knows how that's going to scale up over the as time goes on. But all this information, and instead of anybody speaking up and saying, you know what, you're right, or I don't like Candace Owens and screw her, but these other people, they are pulling up some good stuff, which is true. Like, everyone's acting like Candace Owens is the only one that's coming up with this evidence, and that everything's coming from her, or it's all about her. Like, she's just one facet. Like, she's just part of it. Like, she's got the loudest mouth, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I love Candace. She's very entertaining. I believe her heart's in the right place. She's a great investigative journalist, but she's the biggest mouth in the room, and she's got the spotlight on her. She's got the biggest platform. It's the biggest show, but she's not the only one. She's not the only one, and there are a lot of people that have brought really, really strong, irrefutable evidence to the table that is being denied, and it's getting denied in the name of people's own personal feelings towards Candace Owens. And that is crazy to me. And the Republicans have nobody to blame but themselves for their problems. All the problems that the Republicans have, it has nothing to do with Candace Owens and the 150,000 people that watch her show every day. It all started with President Trump breaking his word on releasing the Epstein files. It went from, we're going to release the Epstein files day one, to, you guys are still talking about Epstein? And I will tell you, me personally, I've followed the Epstein case and all the conspiracy theories revolving the Clintons since, well over 10 years. Well over 10 years. My knowledge of the Clintons and Jeffrey Epstein was the main reason why I supported Donald Trump back in the 2016 election, which was the first time in my life that I ever voted. I was like 25, 26 years old. The first time, wait, was I 25, 26, or was I older? Damn, I was older. That sucks. All right, whatever, what can I say? I'm an old man. But back in 2016, that was the first time I ever voted in my life. And it wasn't for Donald Trump. It wasn't because I believed in him. It wasn't because I was MAGA. It wasn't because any of the other reasons that most of the other people voted for Trump, voted for him for. I didn't really follow politics that much at that point in my life, but I did follow conspiracy theories. I always followed unsolved murders, and that was always a hobby of mine. And I voted against Hillary because I felt like if Hillary Clinton became president, then she was going to ruin America. Like, I felt like it was going to be the end of our nation and our sovereignty as we knew it. And part of the reason I believe that is because of things I knew about Jeffrey Epstein at that time and the connections between him and Bill Clinton. So now, fast forward 10 years later, this is the third time now Trump's running for president, and he's saying that day one, I'm going to release the Epstein file. I will tell you, on July 8th, when I saw that video, the day that Trump said, you guys are still talking about Epstein, something inside of me freaking snapped. All this research that I've been doing, all this stuff, all this talk about probabilities and models and AI and this and that, it all started that day. That day. When I heard Trump say, you guys are still talking about Epstein, something inside me snapped, and I realized that if I ever wanted to find out about the truth from Jeffrey Epstein, that I was going to have to wait. I was going to have to find a way to find it myself. And I sat here, literally, every waking hour of every day for the next 2 or 3 months, just glued to my phone, glued to my computer, going over everything that you can imagine. From declassified files to different Google searches, and then using AI and learning how to train it to resource other documents and pull up different legal records and declassified documents. And then I'm looking up voting history and donor history and other murders that I was coming across, or suicides, or whatever you want to call them, and different affiliations. Next thing you know, I'm digging into different financial histories, and I'm finding things on different shell corporations and different conflicts of interest with international policy, with different elected officials, and just this whole rabbit hole of so much corruption in our government. And it changed me forever. It really did. It was a life-changing experience. And I am not the same after this. And I'm not trying to be like Danny Casolaro or Gary Webb or one of these guys that just sits here writing books and trying to blow the whistle on things until I turn up dead. But, like, I can't just keep things to myself. And when I see the direction that the nation is going in, and just the blatant lies and the corruptions and how it seems to be affecting our sovereignty as Americans, and just the balance of good and evil in the world, no, I have to raise awareness. I have to start this channel. I have to create content. I need a freaking megaphone. I need to show up in DC with a megaphone and start shouting this stuff up if I have to. And the day is probably gonna come where I do. The day is probably gonna come where I do. But and I know that if this channel really really blows up and grows and everyone starts sharing my content, that I'm probably gonna be in danger. But me being a Christian that believes in God and believes in Jesus, I'm ready for that. You can freaking kill me today. Like, it is what it is. If you know anything about me in my life, then you know that I'm playing with house money anyway. Like, I had a good run. I had my fun. Like, my life is gonna have meaning. My life is gonna have meaning. I'm gonna keep digging for the truth, and I'm gonna keep sharing the truth. My integrity is not for sale. My integrity will not be compromised. My soul will never be for sale. I'm never gonna lie to you guys. I'm never gonna shill out. I don't care about the political parties. I don't care about the midterms. I care about the truth. I care about God. I care about doing the right thing. And I care about our country. I care about our rights. I don't care about any of these scumbags, including Erika Kirk. Because make no mistake, Erika Kirk is a scumbag. I'm not saying that, she did this, or she was behind that, or she was a plant, or she was a handler, or da. Like, I'm not even saying any of that. I'm just saying she's a scumbag. Anyway, back to Candace Owens. It's just really crazy to me that everybody is just ignoring the evidence. They're just, it's like they made up their mind. Like, if you're Team Candace, it's like you're just gonna ride with her no matter what, which is also not good, because there are gonna be times that she's wrong. There is time, and I also worry about Candace Owens too, because you look at Alex Jones and what he went through with that lawsuit, with that topic I'm not gonna talk about, but. And I was never a big fan of Alex Jones. Like, I wasn't like one of those guys, but I knew who he was, and I knew that he kind of saw other things in the past coming, and even though he might have some extreme views, he was right in the sense that there is corruption, and that the government is lying to us, and that there are very, very powerful people in the world that have an agenda that's good for them and bad for us. All the other stuff, you start talking about false flags and interdimensional beings and reptiles and gay frogs and all that. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Although the whole gay frogs thing, the atrazine in the water, like, he kind of had a point with that one. With Alex Jones, like, you start going down those holes, and you're going to have all sorts of people giving you information. And I feel like that's where Candace Owens is at now. She has a lot of people giving her information, and a lot of times she's going to get bad information. And she might get bad information from a source that she thinks is good. And sometimes it's just going to happen. And sometimes it might be an honest mistake, and sometimes it might be malicious. I really do worry that somebody's going to try to feed Candace Owens some really, really bad information that seems really credible, and that she is going to get sued for it, and that she's going to end up with this $1 billion lawsuit on her hands like Alex Jones has. And that would be terrible. We don't want that for her. And that's why I really wish that she would take things down a notch and just slow down and make sure to vet her sources. Like have specialists. Like, if there's something that you're going to talk about that's related to the military, make sure you have people in the military. And listen, I'm not sitting here trying to tell Candace, like, Candace, I'm not sitting here trying to tell you what to do or how to run your business or anything. Like, and I'm sorry if I'm overstepping. That's not my intention. But I just hope that you surround yourself with the right people, and that you have professional opinions before you say things that could come back to bite you. And that's it. I'll just leave it at that. But I just wish people would be objective and just look at the evidence. Just look at the evidence. Not everybody in Turning Point USA is bad. Like, there's no way. That's impossible too. You know, I'm sure that there are some people that might genuinely believe the narrative, and I'm sure there are some people that know that it's bull and that are scared and feel like, what the hell am I going to do about it? Like, they might feel stuck. I don't know. I don't know. But one thing that's crazy now is when you look at this and you look at all the evidence, and now Erica yesterday talking about how they're all family and that she has their back, and basically she's not entertaining it and trying to write off and bury like hard evidence that's been accumulated. It really has to make me ask myself, and again, talking about probabilities, what is more plausible at this point in time today after Erika Kirk's statements yesterday? After yesterday, I really just have to ask myself, what makes more sense? Does it really make more sense for Erica and the security and all these people, for whatever reason, to allow this to happen to Charlie and to be complicit with the cover-up? Or is there a chance that the whole thing has been one big psyop and that Charlie's not even dead? And I'm not saying that's what I think. I do. I think that he's dead. If I didn't think that, I never would have put so much time and everything into this. But I think it's a fair question, and I think it's a question that a lot of people are asking. And day one, there were people asking it, and I said it was too soon, and that not that I was ruling it out as zero, because when it comes to math and science, like one thing that I always say is nothing's impossible, only improbable. Obviously certain things are impossible, but that's just the rationale that you have to go into everything with. It's like, you don't say it's a 0% chance. You could say it's 0.05 or 0.001 or something like that, but you don't put it at an actual zero. And yesterday, when Erika Kirk gave that interview, the probability of the narrative did not go up. It did not go up. The probabilities for the cover-up went up, and I mean, I got to run everything again, but I think the probability that the whole thing is staged went up a tick too. I do. It's just, I feel like at this point the gloves are off, and nothing is off the table, and all the questions are fair to ask. And those questions, they don't just stop at whether or not Charlie Kirk is even dead or alive, which, again, don't get it twisted. I believe he's dead. I don't know. I'm just trying to do the right thing, I want to do the right thing in every sense of the word. And I want this to be good. I want this show to be something that people look forward to seeing. That would mean so much to me. It would mean so much to me. It's just my contribution to the world. Just knowing that I did something that made people's lives a little bit better, that I was able to teach them something, that they learned something from me, that somebody's life or their perspective of life was somehow changed for the better because of something that I did. That would be so awesome. That would be so awesome. I don't know. I think it's really important to take care of your own. I think that right now, especially because people are so divisive right now, it's like, and we don't know how long these platforms are going to last. Who knows? Who knows? You look at the UK right now, they got the cops showing up at people's houses for text messages, for social media posts. If you're in the UK and you make a social media post making a joke about trans people, the police can come to your house and arrest you. That's crazy. That's crazy. And that's one of the many reasons why we're so lucky to live in America. But make no mistake, that can happen here if we're not careful and we don't hold our government accountable and we don't demand the kind of transparency that we're demanding with things like the Epstein case and the Charlie Kirk case. That is the trajectory. That is what's going to happen eventually. It just is. And people don't believe it, and they think it's all conspiracy theories. But listen, if 15 years ago, somebody told you that there was going to be a flu that went around and they were going to make everybody get vaccinated and everyone was going to be locked in their house and you were going to have to wear masks and be 6 feet apart in public, they would have looked at you like you were on drugs. They would have been like, what the hell are you talking about? That's never going to happen. We live in America. It's 2015 or whatever year it would have been at the time. But as we know, we saw what happened with COVID. And it really was like a litmus test for people. And most of you failed. Most of you failed. I hope you guys learned from your mistakes, but you failed. And I got news for you. With this whole Charlie Kirk investigation and whatever this situation is, it's another litmus test. And you guys are failing this one too. A lot of you guys are failing this one too. I hate to say it. And also, I got to say, I saw a clip of the interview between Miss America and Barry Weiss. And oh my God, it's like, it's just so scripted. It's just so fake. It's like 1 second Erica's doing, that really like chinky-eyed smile. And she does, and then Barry Weiss is like, and Candace Owens, who's peddling these and building her whole business on it. And all of a sudden she goes, like Erica has like the real serious mean look. And what would you say to her right now? Stop. That's it. Just stop. I'm not even going to play the clip. Like I said, I can't bear to freaking look or see this woman anymore. It's so disgusting. Erica, I'm just getting started. Candace, please don't stop. Actually, you know what? It might not be bad for Candace to stop. Because then maybe people would actually, look at the evidence and listen to everybody else for a second and see why we believe the way it is, instead of just gaslighting and vilifying Candace, acting like she's the reason that everybody thinks that Turning Point USA is corrupt and possibly conspired to kill Charlie Kirk. If Candace Owens never spoke about the Charlie Kirk conspiracy and cover-up again, believe me, there's a large part of America that's going to just keep going with it. That's just going to keep pointing this out. Like, I'm never going to stop. You're literally going to have to kill me. Unless you can prove to me, without a shadow of a doubt, all these anomalies, or at least some of them, I'm going to keep going. The no blood on the hands, the smiling, the Mikey McCoy on the phone, it's just too much. There's just way too many. Way too many things. Way too many things. And then it's like, you trust the system. You trust the system. They got the guy, but then you're still taking the leads and you're giving them to the FBI. It's like all these little lies that you're all getting caught in, And the whole thing with Erica is she wasn't speaking on it before, so she wasn't getting caught in the lies. But her behavior was still shady as hell because she wasn't grieving either. She wasn't everything from the second Charlie Kirk died has been one giant publicity tour. One giant PR tour. And what is it doing? It's propping up Erika Kirk to be some influencer. It's setting up J.D. Vance for the 2028 election. And it's just strategically, ironically, just not calling out a specific foreign nation and kind of just setting them up to look favorable. And tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Anybody who's watching this, if you think I'm wrong, tell me in the comments. But that's what I see. I see that they're trying to create this image and build up Erika Kirk to be this new influence that's going to help the government manipulate the right wing. I think that they're trying to set up J.D. Vance for the 2028 run. And I think that they're trying to stop the bleeding for Israel. It's really ironic. I feel guilty even using those words because, if only they'd have tried to stop the bleeding for Charlie. But no, they didn't try to stop the bleeding for Charlie, but they are stopping the bleeding for Israel. And, for their image, the public opinion. Actually, I'm going to edit that out. They're stopping the bleeding for the image of a foreign nation. Yeah, that's how I'm going to say it. This whole thing just makes me sick. I hope he's not even dead. But unfortunately, I think he is. It's just crazy. Everything going on right now. Even Netflix trying to buy Warner Brothers. All right, now, you got to see what's going on. Okay, so Paramount is owned by the Ellisons. Okay, David Ellison, Larry Ellison's son. Psycho billionaire who's got the software Oracle that is used by the CIA, who ChatGPT also uses for the cloud. and for who now owns a big part of the version of TikTok that we use in America. And this is also the guy who is actively working and promoting for massive surveillance all across America. This guy wants cameras everywhere. I saw an interview where he was sitting there saying like, "Oh, it's going to be great. Everybody's going to be safe cuz everyone's going to be watched and recorded all the time, and they're not going to be able to do anything wrong. And the police aren't going to be able to do anything wrong cuz their body cams, they're not going to be able to turn them off. Well, I mean, if they need to go to the bathroom, they could say, "Hey, I gotta go to the bathroom," and they'll kind of be off for 2 minutes. But just in case, like they won't really be off. Like if you have a subpoena, you'll be able to see what's on for those 2 minutes, just in case they didn't go to the bathroom. I swear to God, he said something just like that. I really want to find the clip. Please, guys, just don't take my word for it. Just look it up. Just look it up. And if anyone finds it, send me the video. Send me the link. Tell me what video it was on. It's just crazy. Crazy. Like the guy's a psycho. And he's the richest man in the world. And he is completely pro other nation. And that's the guy whose son owns Paramount, like MTV, South Park they got now, CBS, all these different things. Like, why do you think Stephen Colbert got fired? Everyone's like, "Oh, it's Trump, it's Trump, it's Trump." Like, Trump didn't fire Stephen Colbert, okay? This is people with an allegiance to a certain political party and a certain foreign interest that are buying up American media and American mainstream media and American social media. And now Netflix, which is known to be more a left-favored company, now they wanted to buy Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers, they own like Batman, all this other stuff, DC Comics as a whole. But now Paramount's like, no, we can't let that happen. Like, this deal isn't fair. We want to buy Warner Brothers. Like, we want to buy Warner Brothers because they want to take control from Netflix, who is, they're tied up with the Obamas, and like I said, they're more left oriented. And now, like this is and it's crazy too, because this is some of the stuff that the left was saying that they were afraid of with Trump, with the corruption. But unfortunately, they just threw democracy out of the window and was rigging elections and, doing everything they did. So, especially with immigration and whatnot, that they were just so toxic that everybody just ran right into Trump's arms. And now it's like, you got the left, which is a bunch of crooked scumbags. You got the right, which has a lot of good apples. And I always thought Trump was, a moderately good apple. I never thought he was as good as MAGA thought, but I never thought he was as bad as the left thought. I still don't know what to think. I kind of think that he's worried that they're going to kill him. I do. I kind of think that Trump, like, if you look, honestly, after Charlie Kirk died, the people that looked the most upset about it to me was, like, Donald Trump. I remember Ian Carroll, he looked very, very upset and distressed. Dave Smith, I watched him talking about it, and he was very, very devastated and shooken up. Candace, even still when Candace talks about him, like, you could see that she's hurting. Like, you could tell that Candace Owens cared about him. And now you got these other people that are trying to say otherwise. No, like, get out of here. Get out of here. Like, I can't stand some of you people. I'm not even going to say names. Like I said, today is just about chilling. It's just me talking. I'm not pulling up clips. I'm not, like, trying to go on, like, angry rants. I'm not trying to read off of the screen or go into my analytics and my reports and my data and all that stuff. I'm just chilling. I'm just venting, processing, trying to figure out my next move. But yeah, no, Erika Kirk is a really bad apple. I don't believe her for 1 minute. I don't believe her for 1 minute. I don't think that she is a real Christian. I like every time I hear Erika Kirk recite the Bible, it just makes me cringe. It really does. It makes me cringe. It's like listening to a Rob McCoy sermon. You ever try to listen to a Rob McCoy sermon? Oh my God. Oh my God. The guy's up there. He's supposed to be giving a sermon in a church, and it's like he's like the guy's just spitting out Hasbara for people. It's like crazy. It's crazy. I don't know. I think these people are all a bunch of scumbags. what are you going to do? Thank God we're in America and, you know, freedom of speech and all that. I can still say these things. I mean, if my platform gets big enough, they're probably going to kill me. Like, just so you guys know, I love my life. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. You know, I had my times, whatever. We all have our experiences and ups and downs and whatnot. But I live a very good, clean, healthy life. I love my life. I love my family. I love my friends. I have a great support system. I really have everything going for me. So if you ever hear that anything happened to me, or if I ever just stop making these videos, which I believe me when I say I have zero intention to, just know they got me. Just know they got me. But anyway, let's get on to the next thing. I'm not going to lie, I'm really enjoying some of these comments that I'm getting. I could make a whole episode just off of the comments I've been getting. Jin Marie 71 commented, she's literally traveling and giving interviews, but I don't have time. Is she willing to let her husband's killers get away with it? Sounds like it. Cooley Coolin commented, dude crying over Charlie on socials, trying to rationalize why his favorite white nationalist. Oh, wait, hold on. This is a good one. I think he's talking about me. Hold on. No, I don't want to lose it. All right, Fooly Coolin commented, dude crying over Charlie on socials, trying to rationalize why his favorite white nationalist was taken out by our government. Laugh my ass off. Just dead this shit, man. If you understand the context in which Charlie existed, none of this matters and could even be predicted. Well, I'm not going to lie. I am not a white nationalist. Charlie was certainly not my favorite influencer, not even in my top 10, but obviously I'm not trying to speak badly of the dead. Stella Bella commented, I can't stomach seeing her anymore. Who's with her kids? She's so busy doing these interviews all the time. They need their mom. It's October 3rd commented, she has no time to investigate her husband's death. No, of course not. She has... I mean, don't you know she's trying to sell a book? She's trying to sell us a war with Iran. She's got to do these tours. She has to make sure that her eye drops are in before she hits the stage. She's probably got to deal with the pyrotechnics guy to make sure that the right fireworks go off at the right time and that her hair looks right and that, you know, Megyn Kelly knows exactly what questions not to ask her when they do the interviews. You know, all these things are really important. Gen X is here commented, did she just call us noise mice? Nico commented, Erica is such a clown. Well, that's a lot better than what Tim Pool and Steven Crowder said about Candace, that's for sure. Oh, Dee Dee Doodle got a couple comments. Hold on, I'm going to read them all. All right, comment number 1, Dee Dee Doodle. She is mad she is getting caught. If I were her, I would be so appreciative to everybody trying to dig deep and figure out exactly what happened. No, she's not answering anything. She's just on a whirlwind tour for attention, apparently, with a very angry face. And then the third comment is, and everywhere but with her children. You know, Dee Dee Doodle, I think I got to agree with you. Claudia Parra commented, why is there no police interviews as well? Well, that's a really good question, Claudia. That's a really good question. Let's ask Kash Patel. You know, we can ask him under oath. I'm sure he'll tell the truth, just like he did with Epstein, right? Must be nice to not have to worry about getting charged with perjury and still run the FBI. You know what, Kaliana? You are 100% correct. Oh, this is actually a big one. Let's see. Hold on. I might have to get my glasses now for this one. This might actually start being a thing on this show, where I put my glasses on and read a couple of the comments on social media. All right. Now, tell me how this happened. Commented on TikTok. I don't like Candace Owens and never will, but I'm not stupid. I fully support her digging into this case. I'm not usually a conspiracy theorist, but there's so many weird things going on about it and too many coincidences. Also, I don't care how good a shot a 20-year-old is. The man they arrested, I don't believe for a second that he was able to get that lethal of a shot to the neck from them as far away as they say he was. That was a professional shot, a shot that someone who spent years in the military would have done. You know what? I actually agree with you. Although it is possible that with the right gun, calibrated the right way, with the right scope, a shot like that could be made on a still target. A moving target is a little bit more different. But the fact that they say that the gun is like 80 years old or 50 years old or whatever it is, an old gun, old bullets, that he made that shot to the neck on a moving target and that caliber round did the damage they say that it did, That's just a combination of anomalies. Once you factor those kind of anomalies together in the math equation as probabilities, it's highly, highly, highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. And then once you start to factor in all the other probabilities, all the other factors, you know, the Mikey McCoy walking away, the security guards without the blood on their hands, the stand in here, the fact that there was a patsy, the fact that they weren't worried that there was another shot, the fact there was no blood on the hands, all these different things are factors into a math equation. And once you get it all together, which I've been doing, I've been spending the last couple months doing this, just factoring getting all these factors together, getting all this information together, plugging it all into AI models that I design. And it becomes very, very clear, very, very quickly that the whole FBI narrative that they're trying to shove down our throats is bullshit. It is nonsense. It is fabrication. You have a better chance of a fat man in a red suit coming down your chimney in a couple weeks than that Tyler Robinson did this, and he did this by himself, and that there weren't professionals involved, and that Turning Point and the FBI don't have a lot more information about all this than they're sharing with us at this time. And when Erika Kirk, the mourning wife, who's also the CEO of the company, who has the other kind of ties that she has and whatnot, and I'm not going to get too deep into all that. I'm not, but those are factors too. And once you add everything together, and then you look at what was going on with the donors and with his stance on Iran and the changes that Turning Point USA is making now on these stances, and just, like I said, once you factor it all in together, the math adds up. The math adds up. And it starts to add up in a very, very clear way. And, based on that math and based on that formula, Erika Kirk's interview yesterday potentially implicates herself in a very, very bad way. In a very, very bad way. She's lucky that she has very high friends at the top. She has as high as it goes. I mean, we all seen her freaking making love to JD Vance's skull, giving all the hugs and whatnot. It was a little sensual, if you ask me. But she has friends in high places, and so do her parents. Her father actually has some very high friends in places in a different nation. So I don't think she has to worry that much about the system coming after her. But as far as public opinion and what we see and people like me see and what we're going to be sharing with the world, yeah, she really implicated herself. She did. That's just the way it is. But anyway, let's keep going. Cinderella444 says she has more anger towards Candace than she does Tyler. Now, if you don't find something wrong with that, you must be blind. Like me when I don't wear my glasses. Honk, if you're from Dixie, just posted a picture, a very lovely picture of Candace that says, "I stand with Candace." I do too. I'm seeing a lot of posts nowadays, or today I should say, saying "I stand with Erica." And I got to tell you right now, I would rather stand on glass. All right, Chatty Cathy says she got on stage and said she forgave Tyler Robinson, and now she's calling in leads. Now that is a really, really good point. I didn't even realize right away when I was going on my rant, but she's been saying, she said in the Jesse Waters interview that she's seen the evidence. She believes that they got the guy, and she trusts the process, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, if that's the case, then why are you saying that you're still taking leads and giving them to the authorities? If the FBI is telling you, and you're telling us, that you got the guy, and that you trust the system, then why even entertain leads? At least the people that are, commenting on my pages get the gist of it. Wow, I see so much better when I'm still wearing these. I might have to just get used to wearing them all the time. But, I really don't like, and that's right, if you haven't noticed by now, I've had multiple back surgeries. I have a really bad back. So, I can't just sit in chairs. I don't know if you can tell, I'm sitting kind of Indian style in my chair right now. And that's how I even eat at the dinner table. I don't know. It's just me. I can't, sit straight in a chair. I lose my mind. So I'm always sitting on my legs, always sitting on my feet. Every now and then my foot falls asleep. I got to, move around a little bit, But that's just me. See? You're going to learn a little more about me every single day. This was cool. I'm really glad that I did this episode like this today. I mean, I'll be more or less glad about it, I guess, in a couple hours and in the upcoming days when I see how it performs compared to the other ones. But like I said, I'm still finding my way. I'm still figuring all this out. It's all new to me. And every time that I get in here, I got to keep getting my reps in, keep getting more comfortable on the camera. Today was just chilling. Today was just a vibe. But I hope you guys enjoy this episode. I hope that you enjoy getting to know me better, and that you keep watching, and that you understand that I'm not just trying to get clicks. I'm really trying to develop a real movement, you know? No, I shouldn't say that. It's not that I'm trying to develop a movement. I guess I'm trying to be a part of the movement. The movement's already here, you know? Like this truther movement. But I really want to be a major driving force in it, I think is fair to say. I am all about the cause. I'm all about God. I'm all about my family. And I'm all about our country. All right, guys, real quick before we go, there is one clip that I'm going to show you because Ian Carroll has just released the Buyer app, and I want to congratulate him. I think it's awesome. He's been working on it for a really long time, and I want to show my support for it. I know most of you are familiar with this, but in case you're not, the Buyer app is an app that Ian Carroll and his partners designed so that you could use it to scan the barcodes on groceries, household items, and personal care items, and it will show you exactly who owns it. Now, I've always said that your purchasing power is the number one way to protest. So by using this app, you could see exactly who owns what products that you want to or think about buying, and you know exactly who you're supporting. I think it's a great app. I can't wait to use it. I just downloaded it last night. Here we go.
The Buyer app, designed by yours truly to help you figure out who the hell you're giving all your money to when you go to the grocery store. You can download it for free on the Google Play Store today, coming soon to the iOS store too once they figure their shit out. And you can use it to scan any product in the grocery store and find out who actually owns that product and who are you actually giving your money to. So that if you don't want to be giving your money to BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, all the banks that own basically everything, and would rather support a family or founder-owned company, someone that actually cares about what they're feeding you, what they're putting in your skin and on your body, Buyer app is here to help. We don't take any paid ads. There's no strings attached. We have no investors. We own the thing outright, and we made it for you so that you can get a little more informed about what the hell is going on in the grocery store and who is taking your money. That's the kind of ad I like to run. Founder-owned, supporting founder-owned. I hope it helps. Now, back to the video.
All right, guys, that's the Buyer app, and that is it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know it's a little different from what I've been doing, but, I think it's important. I just wanted to have an episode where we just vibe and, it's just me. Like, no distractions, not being over the top, not playing other people's content and clips and whatnot, But, again, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you again next time. Be kind, be grateful, do something nice for somebody, and have a good day.